Fun and playfulness are essential to our well-being and to actually enjoying life. Fun is magnetic. Fun is healing. Fun brings life into everything you do. But somewhere along the way, as we become adults, we start to suppress that playful side of ourselves. And before we know it, we start to feel uninspired, a little bit drained, and a bit flat. I've had so many women tell me that they don't know how to have fun anymore. They're not even sure what to do for fun or how to even go about it. So in today's video, I'm sharing 9 practical ways to bring more fun and joy back into your life, so stick around. Now, before we get into it, I think it's important to note that fun is so much less something that is just going to appear or will be more present in your life once X, Y, or Z happens, and is so much more something that you create. It's more of a mindset and how you show up in life. You don't have to change your life to experience more fun. You just have to choose it in small ways every day. And I'll show you how. Before we talk about bringing more fun into your life, we have to start with your foundation, which is your nervous system. Now, this may not be true for everybody, but from what I've observed, most of us are overstimulated and living in a subtle state of fight or flight, way more than we should be. And this relates to how much fun and joy you can experience, because when you're in that dysregulated state, when you are in that stress state, it is harder to feel joy. It is harder to be playful, to laugh, to be present. When you're in more of that fight or flight state, you're naturally going to feel more tense, to feel more stressed and anxious, maybe overwhelmed, or even feeling like you have to control things. So calming your nervous system is a really great place to start. Make some time for relaxation. Try to breathe more often and deeper throughout the day. And I highly recommend setting aside at least 5 minutes a day for some kind of relaxation, something to decompress your nervous system. This could look like laying down and setting a timer for just 5 minutes, where either you just breathe, maybe you listen to soothing music, maybe you do some kind of guided meditation, or maybe you even just go outside and appreciate the nature around you. Feel your shoulders drop, your jaw unclench, and allow your body to let go and release some of that tension. And this is like maintenance for your nervous system, not something that you just do when you're stressed, but something that you do daily to help prevent that constant stress state in the first place. When your nervous system feels calm and safe and grounded, that's when things can change. You can think differently, you can see things differently, you can feel differently. And that's when it becomes so much easier to be the version of you that has more fun, that's more playful, and that laughs more. Number 2 is exploring your narratives. If deep down you learned that being serious and productive and in control was safer than being playful, your brain will continue to default there. Throughout our lives, but especially in childhood, we pick up on so many narratives and beliefs based on what we were told, what was modeled to us, or how people responded to us. We all hold certain narratives and beliefs in our subconscious mind that influence what we do and how we feel about things. So I suggest exploring what kind of narratives or beliefs could be hanging out in your subconscious mind that could be impacting your ability to have fun or to even choose to do things that are fun. Maybe you saw the adults around you constantly working and never really letting themselves play. Maybe you got praised for being responsible and productive, but not really for being joyful or creative. So ask yourself, somewhere along the way, did I learn that having fun was a waste of time? Did I learn that it was more valuable to be productive? At some point, did I get the message that I need to be more serious? Or any kind of question along those lines? And just see what comes up. And the beautiful thing about the mind is once you see a narrative, we can consciously choose to change it. So if you recognize one of those beliefs living in your subconscious, try replacing it with something new, with something that is more aligned with the type of life you actually want to live. Maybe it's something like having fun fills my cup up and helps me show up better for everyone else. Or having more fun helps me produce better quality work when I am being productive. Having fun helps me enjoy life more, and I really value that. Number 3, explore what you enjoy doing. I think a lot of us haven't really taken the time to explore what we genuinely enjoy doing, what truly feels fun for us. It is so easy to fall into the norms and the narratives of our culture and to feel like whatever society deems as fun is what should feel fun for us too. But that might not be the case. So start paying attention to how you really feel when you're doing things without any kind of judgment or pressure. Think of it as like a fun exploratory game with yourself where you're just trying things out and seeing what lights you up and what doesn't. And when you start tuning into yourself more like that, you'll probably start to notice what you naturally tend to be more curious about. And that curiosity is a little nudge from within, something within trying to communicate with you. And that's something to follow. I know so many of the things that I find fun or have brought me so much fulfillment have come from me following my own curiosity. So pay attention to what brings that warmth in your belly, that little lift in your chest, that subtle smile that you barely notice, that warm, bubbly feeling that feels good. Follow the sensations that feel expansive rather than just neutral or constricting in some way. Don't worry about what feels Instagram worthy or what might sound cool and exciting to someone else. Really pay attention to how things actually make you feel. And you might find things you really enjoy that are actually super simple or things that you never would have thought of. Number 4, go do new things. Trying new things and doing things outside of your norm will help you explore things that you really enjoy that you may have never known otherwise, and it will help you get out of your automatic way of being. When we continue to keep doing what we normally do, we're far more likely to live on autopilot and continue to feel the same, think the same, and show up in the same ways. But when you go out and do new things and go to new environments and switch up your routines, you make it so much easier to step out of your automatic ways of being. You make it easier to think, feel, and show up differently, and that can make it so much easier to become the version of you who has more fun. And this doesn't have to be anything huge. It can be exploring a new part of your city, signing up for a class you've never taken before, going to a new cafe, or even just walking a new route. The whole point is just to get out of your normal routine. Number 5, bring more fun to the things that you do. This is one of the most important ones because fun doesn't just have to live in all the big moments. It can live in all the little ones too. We can bring more fun to almost anything we do. It's all about the mindset and energy that we bring to it. We often think fun has to come from what we're doing, but it's really so much more about how we're doing it. You can go through your day on autopilot, begrudgingly doing your chores, trying to rush through your to-do list, just trying to get things done, or you can bring a vibe of fun and playfulness to the exact same things. For anything you do, ask yourself, how can I bring a sense of fun to this? How can I make this feel a little bit more fun? How can I make cooking this meal fun? How can I approach my work with a vibe of fun? I can begrudgingly do my chores while feeling a little annoyed and just ready to get them over with. Or I can throw on some great music and dance and sing along and just have fun with them. And those end up being 2 completely different experiences. So let yourself be playful. Bring a lightness and joy to the things that you do. This may feel a bit odd or unfamiliar at first, but think of it like training a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it'll get. And this ends up bringing way more fun to your life. And you train your brain to associate daily life with joy instead of obligation. Number 6, changing what you focus on. There's this quote that I love that says, "The happiest people choose to romanticize their life because they know magic exists where they choose to find it." And I think that sums up such an important truth. So much of our experience comes from what we focus on. Our perception creates our reality. We can go through our days focusing our thoughts on the negative, on what feels like an obligation, on what's frustrating us, on the moments that don't feel great. But when that's our focus, life really starts to feel heavy and maybe even kind of plain. But we can always choose to shift our focus. We can choose to focus more on the joy, on the things that we enjoy, on the things we love, on the tiny things that make life feel beautiful and fun. And you can bring this little layer of appreciation and enthusiasm to everything. On how your coffee tastes in the morning, the sunlight streaming through your window, the song that lights your body up, a kind word from a stranger. These moments really are everywhere when you start to look for them. For example, let's say you're going on a walk. You could spend that walk just rushing, trying to get it over with because you're just trying to get your steps in. And maybe you're thinking about your to-do list or what's stressing you out. Or you could slow down a little bit and spend that walk paying attention to how good the breeze feels against your skin and noticing and appreciating the trees and the flowers around you and just enjoying the fact that you have the time to go on a walk. The walks are the same, but they end up being 2 completely different experiences. You can train your brain to look for and notice little tiny moments of delight throughout your day. And a really practical way to do this is to keep some kind of joy log on your notes app, where throughout your day, you jot down any tiny moment of joy, or that felt really good, or a little moment that you really appreciated. It could be the smallest things, but it's such a powerful practice because it trains your brain to automatically look for the good. Number 7, make time for fun. It is incredibly easy to fill up our schedules and pile so much on our plate that we barely have time to breathe, let alone have fun. We live in a culture that celebrates busyness. We are rewarded for productivity and checking things off our to-do list, and it can be so easy to end up in a situation where we spend our lives in reactivity mode to all the things on our to-do list, and we never take intentional time for fun. So I want to invite you to take an honest look at your schedule. Where might you be doing too much? Where might you be taking on responsibilities that aren't actually yours? Where do you have this really long list of things to do when in reality, you're just keeping yourself busy? Allow for some space in your schedule. Get out of rushing mode. Slow down and do less, even if it's just a little bit less, to create more space in your life. Number 8, do something just for fun. If you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you're currently wired to do things for productivity, and you might feel guilty when you do try to relax or just have fun. And maybe there's this voice in the back of your head reminding you of the things on your to-do list or of things that might be more productive. And because that might be your current tendency and what you're currently wired for, you need to practice doing things just for fun. Purely for fun and enjoyment and for no other reason. Not because it's productive, not because it checks off a box, not because it helps you reach a goal, but purely for your enjoyment of it. Make some kind of routine out of either each week or each day, taking time to practice doing something for fun instead of productivity. Number 9, remember not to take life too seriously. Something I've learned and sometimes still have to remind myself is not to take life too seriously. When you think about it, some of the things that really stress us out don't even matter a week or a month from now. When you're able to zoom out, most of the things that stress us out really aren't that serious. But in the moment, our minds can make them seem like this really big thing, make them seem so much heavier than they are. And when you're in that space, you're less likely to be playful or to just have fun with things. I genuinely believe that life is meant to be lived and experienced and enjoyed. And when we're able to approach life with a lighter heart and more playfulness, things just feel easier. And things tend to work out a whole lot better. So the next time something small goes wrong or doesn't unfold in the way you wanted it to, try to just smile and remind yourself it's not that serious. And at the end of the day, I am just one tiny human on this random floating rock through space. Remind yourself not to take life so seriously, to bring more humor and playfulness to your life. We ultimately become what we practice. We are always training our mind and body in some way. So if you are constantly practicing stress, responsibility, and being in doing mode, then that is what you're wiring your system for. But if you start to pay attention to the tiny joys in your day, bringing a sense of fun to the things that you do, and making time specifically for fun, then you are practicing joy and play. You're strengthening that muscle. And realize that making time for fun in your life is just as important and productive as things that are traditionally seen as being more important and productive. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value out of it. Definitely let me know in the comments what you thought. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I'll see you in another one. Bye.